Hello, Plumbing Bros. Welcome to Potty Talk Live. I'm your host, Richard Behney, the $1 Million Plumber, and I'm happy to be with you here today. Hey, it is my passion just to make us all better plumbers. I love the plumbing industry, been in it for over 30 years, and I have a passion for helping all your plumbing dreams come true. So if you're looking for more customers, you're looking to make more money, or you're looking to grow your plumbing business, I want to help. That's what I want to do. And to help you with that, I have a giveaway. I have a free giveaway here. Let me see if I can't bring it up here. I want to give you my 7 must-knows to be $1 million plumber. There we go. No, that's the wrong one. That's later here. 7 must-knows to be $1 million plumber. There you have it. In it, you'll find the 7 keys, the 7 must-knows that you need to know if you want to be $1 million plumber. So there's no strings attached. There's no gimmicks, no catch. It's free. It's free to you. You can go to facebook.com/the $1 million plumber, and you can get it there. Just click on the learn more, and you can get it there. Or just simply type a 1 down in the comment. Give me a 1 down in the comment, and I'll get it sent out to you. So there you have it. Fair enough? All right. Well, let's see here. We started the broadcast here, and my special guest today is lost in the internet crawl space somewhere. So my special guest is. You ever have a helper, someone just kind of disappear on you? We can't locate our guest. He's lost out there. So you got me. So I thought that until they show up, or if he shows up, I get asked all the time. What do I think about this or that? And so if you'll kind of just give me a little bit of grace, I thought we'd interview me. All right. So why don't we go down the list here, and I'll answer some of these questions, and we'll go from there for today's Potty Talk Live. All right. Let's see here. What's the first question on the agenda? How did you get into plumbing? Well, probably like most of us. Through it doesn't matter who I talk to, around the world, or it's just how old they are. It seems like we kind of all most of us kind of fall into plumbing, and that's kind of what happened to me. I kind of fell into plumbing. Got out of the Navy, and went back home to Dayton, Ohio, and wound up. I knew a guy that ran the largest plumbing company there in Dayton, Ohio, and turned out to be a very good thing for me. I was a young guy, just kind of lost, and he kind of took me under his wing, and it turned out to be a great thing, because plumbing has been a very good life, and it's done very well for me and my family. And like I said, I have a passion for it, and a passion of sharing it with you, and a passion to help your plumbing desires come true. And there's all kinds of opportunities. So it turned out to be a very good thing. So that's I just kind of fell into it, and went from there. And I can remember my first plumbing job. It's kind of like your first kiss or whatever. We don't want to get to whatever. But my first plumbing job, went out with this old salty guy with a beard, and I thought he was going to kill me. And he was a well pump guy. And my first job, we went out to this hand dug well, an old style well, and he was literally hanging me from my knees down into this well, And I thought I was going to die. And probably today you could be arrested for that kind of a thing. But that was my first plumbing job. And it did get better from there. Well, there's always those days. You know what I'm saying? There's always those days. You have good jobs, you got bad jobs. That's how I got into plumbing. Let's see. What is your favorite plumbing type of job? My favorite type of plumbing job, I'd have to say that I really enjoyed, this is going to sound kind of silly maybe, I really enjoyed installing new water heaters. There was just something about that. Even to this day, we're getting close to kind of springtime here in Indiana, and today I'm looking out the window, it's a pretty day, and sun's shining, and I just always liked going into the homes and getting the water heater draining, and then going back out to the truck and pulling the water heater out and prepping it, and the birds are singing outside, and that kind of thing. So I just always loved water heater jobs, and especially when I got into my own business, water heater jobs turn into be a very good, profitable, big ticket item. So then I love them even more. So water heaters, both tank and tankless. I love them both. They're both fun. And water heater jobs. Share a plumbing story. What kind of plumbing story? We've got lots of plumbing stories throughout the years. And, a lot of things have happened. Some scary stuff. You always got those scary customers, something from, Silence of the Lambs. They take you down into the basements and you just, you carry that big pipe wrench with you just in case, to, pretty ugly, messy stuff, getting poo on you and things kind of blowing up, in your face kind of stuff. But I think my kind of a cool plumbing story from my background is I had some time in Nashville, and so I would plumb during the day and play the clubs at night. And I wound up getting with the plumbing company down there that it turned out to do a lot of cool stuff. We worked for a lot of the stars. I did some remodels for some pretty big names, but I was working in this one house, and a pretty nice house, real nice house, by the way. And I was setting their toilet on some new, and they had some new Italian marble tile set down. So you can picture that. So I was having to chip around the flange, and my finger slipped. I slipped, and I cut my finger here. You see that? Got a scar there to this day. I mean, it's been like 20-some years, and still have that scar. But really opened up my finger, and that kind of a wound, blood went everywhere. So I came out, and this house was going through a big remodel, so there's all these other kind of workers there. And they were all looking at me really weird. I thought, I'm just holding my finger, walking downstairs, and I came across the house manager, the wife, the wife's usually there. And she took one look at me and, said, "What happened?" I said, "Well, I just cut my finger." And took a look at it. It was pretty bad. She said, "Let me drive you to the hospital." So she loads me up bleeding into her Mercedes and takes me to the hospital. And I get cleaned up there and it brought me back. But during the ride, she asked me, "So what has you in Nashville?" It was obvious I was a little different. I'm from the north and didn't quite have the quite southern twang. I didn't look like I quite fit in. And I said, "I'm down here for music." And, "Oh, yeah, tell me about that." So we had a little talk about that. And she goes, "Well, you know who my husband is?" And I said, "Yeah." I didn't know who her husband was. Her husband was president of a big record label down there. And so she says, "Well," she even made a little joke, I sleep with the boss, and, kind of smiled about that. And said, "Well, if you have anything, I can get it to him." So was able to slip a demo tape into a record label president, and some fun things happened from there. So that's probably my claim to fame, or my big plumbing story right there, and that's kind of fun. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. What has you fired up about the plumbing industry? Well, obviously I have a passion for this, for you guys, and I talk to guys all over the place. I'm trying to find a good way of saying this. There's all kinds of opportunity. It's a little sad that we talk with guys that are just getting by and kind of looking at this as just a trash job, and they're whining and moaning and complaining. And there's all kinds of opportunity in the plumbing industry. You can make 6 figures anywhere, and certainly on the service side of things, in the plumbing field. Robots. I kind of say this all the time, and kind of sound like a parrot on this kind of a thing. But robots aren't going to take our jobs. With all the robotics going on, you're going to need plumbers, and so that provides a huge opportunity because there's a need there. So the work is a lot easier. I had an interview with a guy on Potty Talk yesterday with a guy who's been in it for 55 years. I mean, those guys are men. When you're having we're hauling around PVC today, and PEX, and we got these, battery cutters, these power cutters and that kind of stuff. Those guys are doing cast iron. They're hauling around cast iron and doing lead joints, so plumbing certainly got a lot easier, and technology's cooler. There's just all kinds of opportunity for you. So if you're a young gun out there, and I know you may just the story may be similar to mine, where you just kind of fell into plumbing. you fell into some good stuff. It doesn't all stink. You know what I mean? All right, guys. What tool do you recommend? That's a good question. That's a fun question I enjoy asking the guys. The tools, I don't know about you in my truck, I didn't have all the tools, but I had guys that worked for me. And of course, a lot of the guys in town and all. And, some guys are tool buffs. They got every tool for every little thing. For that one time that they need something done, they got the power tool. And I never took it quite that far, but, I really enjoyed the tools. But to be $1 million plumber, of course, the tools, that helps you with the time and be able to get in and out of a job. I think the tools that work best to become $1 million plumber and to be very successful are, and not to sound silly, but my eyes and ears. The ability to walk into someone's home or into the situation and have my eyes open to aware of what's going on, to what kind of plumbing systems they have, what's going on with their plumbing systems, and then not just being focused on what the call is, what they called in about, getting into a broke fix mentality. You can make a living doing plumbing that way, but you can't make money. Period. So it's having my eyes open in as I'm walking in. If I'm going ahead into the utility room and you're going by what other the water heater situation. I'm checking out sump pump situation, softeners. Having a chance to drain things down. I'm going into bathrooms to be able to drain things down. I'm aware of what else is going on. Also, my ears. I'm listening to what the customer is saying. A lot of times, a habit that we can all fall into is, we got the call, and here's what the issue is, and I'm the best plumber in the world, and I'm going to go in there and fix it, and get out of there. But the opportunity is huge because the customer is going to tell you, and there's all different personalities, and that's something that we discuss on $1 Million Plumber. To learn that kind of a thing, but they're telling you, they're talking to you. And so listening to really what's going on with the plumber, with the customer, and that oftentimes leads to other things. So my best tools, I guess to wrap it up there is would be my eyes and ears, and I would highly recommend those. All right. Well, I want to just take a time on that. I'm mentioning about other kinds of opportunities we have here at $1 Million Plumber. Right now, mastermind groups are forming, and if you ever haven't been part of a mastermind is a great opportunity to be with others, where you're other business leaders and of course other plumbing industry leaders, where it's a safe environment where you can discuss what the issues that you're facing, and you can get input. And if you're really serious about looking to grow your plumbing business, a mastermind group is really just for you. So check out a mastermind group. If you want to see if a mastermind group is for you, you can go to themilliondollarplumber.com/mastermind and get more information there. All right. So I think you'd be glad to check it out. A lot of famous business leaders throughout time. Guys like Henry Ford, Richard Branson, Bill Gates. Those guys. They got some things done. And, they use masterminds to forward, their businesses. So, check it out. Again, go to themilliondollarplumber.com/mastermind. Groups are now forming. All right. Well, this is the time in the show here where we do what we call the lightning round, where I normally ask our special guests some quick questions, like either or type questions, Coke or Pepsi. And they got to say, Coke or Pepsi, and a guy yesterday said tequila, So, but they spit out what comes to mind. So, for fun, I'll do it as well here. So, you guys ready? You ready? You be thinking yourselves. So, if you want to write in the comments here, question. Like our first question here is adjustable wrench or channel locks. Mine is channel locks. What's yours? Write it in the comments. Solder fitting or shark bite? Solder fitting. Now I know, we don't, The big pros don't want to admit it that we'll use shark bites, but shark bites are great. If you got to get in, you got to get water off quick, or you're in a tight situation, that kind of a thing. But hey, we're pros. Stick with a good solder fitting, right? All right. Red Bull or coffee? Coffee. I got to say, I'm old school. And I have guys that work for me drink, Red Bull after Red Bull, and they'd be so hopped up by the end of the day. Well, I guess if it gets you through it or whatever, but, coffee's for me. Trench or trenchless? I got to say, I like the trenchless stuff. I'm still kind of old school. Maybe it goes back to it's just fun. It's fun working that kind of equipment. And so, of course, for the, making money wise, value price, trenchless can be a very good thing. It's a good thing for to sell for customers. If you value price it, there, so it's a great opportunity. But I'm an old school guy. I like sitting on the backhoe. Crawl space or slab? I got to say, even though crawl spaces I like crawl spaces, and in my part of the world here in Indiana, it gets really humid in the summertime, and very in the cold in the wintertime, and it just kind of in the summertime and being in the crawl space, you get that you cool down, and in the wintertime it's warm, so crawl space, and less of a mess with the slabs. There's a lot of mess with slabs. Taco Bell, McDonald's. I'm a Taco Bell guy. All right, that was my drug of choice. In the truck, always had Taco Bell, cups and bags, whatever. Tank or tankless? I love them both. I told you that was my favorite job, but I got to say, I still come from the old school guy. I like the new technology, tankless, and it's pretty cool stuff. Tanks just seem to be easier to sell, quite frankly. It's just people are used to that technology and seem to trust it. It's just been around, and of course, I was comfortable with it, and so I got to say a tank guy. Residential or commercial? I love residential. I'm kind of a people guy. The commercial, you can just kind of walk in. They really don't care. You're doing stuff, and now work-wise it can be fine because it's bigger work. It can be cool. But residential, on the whole, residential customers are really pretty good. It's only 2% of them are from hell. Can I say that? Yeah, we can say that. But residential customers are, it just was more fun for me, and I really enjoyed residential. Copper or CPVC? Copper. All right. I'm amazed at the CPVC stuff. The guys that use that kind of stuff. I was talking. We had an interview with a guy that said he did some work in Brazil, and they would use 8-inch CPVC water lines. 8-inch. That is crazy. Poly or PEX? I'm a PEX guy. We get into different kind of crimping styles and all that, but I like the PEX. Milwaukee or DeWalt? I was a Milwaukee guy forever, and I guess that's a little old school, but DeWalt, that's good stuff. I go either way, but it's kind of like what you learn to drive in. If you grew up with Ford, you're a Ford guy, kind of a thing, or Chevy. It's just Milwaukee was bigger in the day and had been around, so it's Milwaukee. General or rigid? I like rigid. I'm a rigid guy. And then finally, PVC or ABS? PVC. All right. Just like the white pipe. The white pipe. And do you line all your letters up when you run your PVC? Do you like everything lined up, or you're a guy that can do it any which way? Let me know. Put something down in the comments. But I was kind of that's how I like doing rough ends. I had to make them fun, and I always lined all my my PVC up, all the lettering straight on, and even had to be that you could read it in the same way. It couldn't be upside down. Does that make sense? So love PVC. So there you have it. That's the lightning round. All right. Well, it looks like we're getting close to wrapping things up here. But one more question I always ask our guests, and And by the way, if you'd like to be a guest on Potty Talk Live, we schedule out a couple weeks in advance here, and I'd love to have you on, love to talk with you. I hear from guys all the time. You don't have to be, it's fun having guys who just started out to guys that guys that have been in it for 55 years. We all have similar stories, and we want to hear your story. And again, I hear from guys all the time. They love hearing, the guys' different stories, because it just, we are a brotherhood, and it just makes us, feel like we're in something together. And it's amazing how common our stories are. So it doesn't matter whether you are just starting out or you've been in the game forever, we'd love to have you on Potty Talk Live and let our plumbing bros all around the world hear your story. That's what Potty Talk Live is all about. All right. So I usually finish up by asking the guys one last question. What's the best advice you ever received? And that's always a fun one. We hear all different kinds of things, and it's usually something that we all can use. And and through the years, I've heard all kinds of, you got your basic advice, like crap rolls downhill, so get out of the way. If you hear it coming, be aware, that kind of stuff. But I think, and I've been blessed to work around and work with some really, really cool guys throughout the years. So I think probably the best advice that just kind of pops in my head at this moment is, I was asked one time, would you rather be, I was kind of in, a customer kind of done me wrong, and you get, you ever been there, you're right, you're right, and the customer, quite frankly, is kind of, ripping you off, and he's, he or she is really kind of messing with you. That's that 2%. And I was getting a little worked up, not necessarily in front of them, but worked up in the office, and it was my general manager at the time asked, Richard, would you rather be right or rich? Think about it. Would you rather be right or rich? Well, I had to think about that. I'm a guy who likes to be right, but there's advantages to being rich. So I really would like to be rich, and so what that does is to this day I use that, to get those kind of situations. Instead of just beating the customers up and we did have disagreements, or, it's cost me now this little bit more money. But I'd much rather get the money and also save that customer, to be able to work with that customer again instead of, just burning that bridge down, blowing it up, kind of a thing. Because it's amazing how if you do work with customers, even the bad ones, they wind up using you again. And, and that's how we make a living, right? And, the next job, you can set it up in a way that, they kind of behave in a certain way, and you can price it a certain way that you can kind of get your stuff back, and make sure that you're covered. So that one's always stuck with me. As we're out there, especially if you're a business owner, you know what I'm talking about. I respect you and admire you because you stepped into the ring, and, you're in the battle, you're in the fight. And so you're worked up, and so when someone is messing with you, it can get you kind of riled up, and when your customer's messing with you. But at the end of the day, it's the bottom line that matters. It's making that money. So that's been my the best advice I've ever received. Would you rather be rich or right or rich? I choose rich, and it's been a good decision. All right, guys. Well, that's about, I think we're about near the end of our broadcast here, about time to wrap things up. Again, thank you for spending this time with me and kind of giving me some grace here, doing the silly thing of interviewing myself here. And I hope you got some nuggets of gold out of that. Join us each day on Potty Talk Live as we go into the trenches and the crawl spaces and the bathrooms and the kitchens and utility rooms around the world to talk to plumbing professionals just like you to hear their story. So until tomorrow, plumb like a champion.